Jane Pattershall and welcome to Monday morning's assembly. There are so many things to talk about when you start looking at our metacognition mascot, the starling, in more detail. We've chosen them because of their phenomenal cooperation, as seen in their murmurations, where they keep each other safe by working together. And when you study them more carefully, instead of a bossy, noisy nuisance, you see the beautiful depth of colour, the gloss and shine of their feathers. They are truly beautiful, shimmering in greens and reds with wondrous patterns all over them. We should always look more deeply, and maybe that's a lesson to return to another day. But seeing their murmurations made me recall a phrase my nan used to say, "Birds of a feather flock together." Now at the time, I didn't really pay much attention, but now it leads me to consider the layers that sit within our learning value of course. Did you know that starlings are brilliant at copying? It's recorded that in 1834, Mozart bought a starling as a pet. And he told this poor starling off because apparently it kept singing a G sharp instead of a G when copying his music. And when starlings work together in the skies, they copy each other's movements to produce those awe-inspiring displays. They are copying good learning behaviours and good learning attitudes. They are communicating well with one another and supporting one another. Imagine if one of the crowd started playing up or making the wrong choices. What would the outcome be? Possibly all the starlings would be in danger. Just like in the classroom, or even if you're working at home. If one or two people flock together and make the wrong choices, then everybody's learning could be. So perhaps the most important thing we can learn from the starlings and from their cooperation is the impact we all have on one another. If your learning behaviour isn't supportive and you do not communicate well, perhaps when you're struggling, then everyone's learning is in harm's way. So this week, when we think about cooperation, think about your learning behaviour and how it impacts not just on you, but on everybody around you. You need to communicate if you need help and support everybody in your class. So, are you a super starling? Are your class birds of a feather that flock together for the right reasons? This is a poem called Starlings in Winter by Mary Oliver. Chunky and noisy, but with stars in their black feathers, they spring from the telephone wire and instantly they are acrobats in the freezing wind. And now, in the theatre of air, they swing over buildings. Dipping and rising, they float like one stippled star that opens, becomes for a moment fragmented, and then closes again. And you watch and you try, but you simply can't imagine how they do it, with no articulated instruction, no pause, only the silent confirmation that they are this notable thing. This wheel of many parts that can rise and spin over and over again, full of gorgeous life. Ah, world, what lessons you prepare for us. Even in the leafless winter, even in the ashy city, I am thinking now of grief and getting past it. I feel my boots trying to leave the ground. I feel my heart pumping hard. I want to think again of dangerous and noble things. I want to be light. I want to be improbable, beautiful, and afraid of nothing, as though I had the wings of a starling. If you'd like to, you can join me in a closing prayer. Dear God, help us to recognise the impact of how we behave on other people around us. Let us remember that when things are hard, we need to communicate and ask for support, as this is a huge part of what cooperation is really about. Amen. Have a brilliant Monday, everybody, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye.